Amelia, did you follow Doug down the road? We just tapped on the window. Why did you do it, Amelia?
There have been other people that have accused you of being Jack the Ripper. The infanticidal Amelia Dyer. In the late 1800s to the early 1900s, baby farmers operated in Britain. For a price, they would take unwanted infants off of mothers who birthed children out of wedlock. The mothers wouldn't be informed of the infant's progress and would be too ashamed to contact the police. Unaware that, soon after handing their baby over, they would be poisoned, drowned, or neglected. There were 8 baby farmers hanged in Britain for these crimes, and many more who escaped without a death sentence. The most prolific baby farmer was Mrs. Amelia Dyer.
Amelia's maiden name was Hobley, and there is no record of when she was born. Various sources state 1829, 1838, or 1839. Her father was Samuel Hobley, who was a shoemaker, and she was the youngest of 5 children. At the age of 11, her mother died in an asylum from a disease. By the age of 14, she left home to live with an aunt and became a corset maker. In 1861, Amelia married a widower named George Thomas. He was 34 years older than her. They had a daughter together called Ellen. Sadly, her husband George passed away in 1869.
Amelia remarried in 1872 to a man closer to her age named William Dyer. They also had children together, a daughter named Mary Ann, who would go by the name Polly, and a son named William Samuel. Amelia also claimed she had 13 children in total, and most of them have died in infancy. It later came out that these were very unlikely to be her biological children. 2 weeks after Amelia's death, Polly came out with a statement which revealed her real parents were a farmer and his wife.
Whilst living in Bristol, Amelia discovered baby farming and would charge single mothers a large sum to take on their infants. The mothers would pay the fee and hand over their baby and clothing, thinking they would be in good hands and would be well looked after. Amelia would dispose of the children. She would either strangle them with a piece of string and leave them in the city, or she would wrap them in linen, tie a brick to the parcel, and throw them into the river. She would then sell the infants' clothes at pawn shops.
Amelia spent short periods of time in different asylums for mental instability and suicide attempts. Her and her family moved to many different locations, as well as going by many different aliases. Some on record are Mrs. Smith, living at Eastfield, Mrs. Waltham at Fish Ponds. She also lived in Caversham and Notting Hill in London. Mrs. Dyer eventually moved to Kensington Road in Reading, going by the name of Mrs. Harding, and the law was beginning to catch up with her. However, she would still take on unwanted infants, one being Evelina Marmon, who handed over her baby Doris for £10.
Amelia took Doris to Mayo Road in London, where her daughter Polly and husband Arthur were staying. Here she took white edging tape, wound it round the baby's neck, and knotted it tightly. The body was wrapped in a napkin by Amelia and Polly and kept in the house. The following day, another infant was handed over to her, named Harry Simmons. They had run out of tape, so she removed it from Doris and reused it to strangle the little boy. Amelia returned to Reading, and both bodies were then weighed down with bricks and thrown into the River Thames.
The bodies of the infants were soon fished out and linked back to Mrs. Dyer. In her apartment, the police found a storage parcel containing the small body of Helena Fry. They also found a roll of edging tape, telegrams for adoption arrangements, letters from mothers asking about their baby's welfare, pawn receipts from baby clothes, and a note saying that they were planning to move to Somerset. On the 4th of April, Mrs. Dyer was arrested at her home in Kensington Road. She was found guilty by Mr. Justice A.T. Lawrence, and on the 6th of June 1895, she was hanged by James Billington at Newgate Prison.
Unfortunately, this wasn't the end of the horrific trade. On the 13th of September 1898 in Newton Abbot, Devon, in a train carriage, a baby's cry was heard and the workers discovered a brown parcel with a 3-week-old girl inside. This was the daughter of a widow, Jane Hill, and the baby had been handed over to a Mrs. Stewart, who was linked back to Amelia's daughter Polly and her husband Arthur Palmer. We decided to head over to Amelia's last known address at Kensington Road. It was a narrow road with small pathways, and we unfortunately couldn't park right outside of the house.
I stepped out of the car and walked down the street to invite Mrs. Dyer to talk with us where we were parked a few doors down. I caught some interesting responses on my walk during a mini session, but the footage got corrupt as the camera shut itself off.
Later on in our session, you will hear us ask Amelia to confirm her address, and she tells us it's a secret. Could it have been Amelia messing with the camera to keep her house number secret?
So we are just down the road from Amelia Dyer's last known address, 45 Kensington Road. I just walked down to the house and had a little short session. Somebody currently lives there, so it's kind of awkward to stand outside of the house for too long doing this. So I kindly asked if Amelia was there to follow us down to the car, which I did think I captured some stuff during that little session. So we're going to continue the session here and see what we get.
Amelia, did you follow Doug down the road? I'm in the car.
Amelia, I did ask you to follow me down to the car. If you did, could you tell us yes or no?
This thing is freaking out.
Amelia, could you give us some names of the infants that you murdered? I almost heard Helena. I heard Helena or something like that.
How many babies did you kill?
I keep hearing Helen when we ask about babies. What did you do with some of the bodies? Were you guilty of all the murders they accused you of?
How did you dispose of their bodies?
That was...
Amelia?
Did you hear that? I heard that
I
too.
got chills all down my body.
Yeah.
Who are we speaking to? Try it again. Can you tell us your daughter's name? Sure, I just heard Polly like a few times.
We'll have to go back over here because I thought I heard something similar, yeah. Could you give us Polly's husband's name?
Yes, her husband.
What did it just say?
Arthur.
Did it?
Yeah.
Do you remember their last name or their surname? We understand that your birth date was never fully confirmed. There's several dates that they consider your birth date. Could you give us one of those dates? Almost sound like a real muffled birthday. Could you tell us what road we're on right now?
Whoa.
That was really close. Could you tell us what road this is that we're sitting on right now?
Almost like a Kensing again.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Could you give us the house number that you used to live in?
Can you confirm your surname for us?
You could give us either surname, your maiden name or your married name.
Ellen was one of her daughters.
Helen was one of her daughters? Yeah, I think, yep, I do remember reading that. I heard it again. Ellen.
What do you want us to know about Ellen?
Ellen again.
We keep hearing you say Helena. What is it about Helena you want us to know?
Again, can you confirm Elena's last name for me? That's close. Amelia, if you're here with us, just help us out to confirm that it is you and give us one of your children's names. Who was George Thomas to you? How did you know George Thomas? Amelia, if you are here with us, could you give us your maiden name?
Whoa.
Did I say Hobley?
It did. Why did you do what you did? So we just tapped on the window.
I think that's my toe popping.
Oh, okay.
I did tap the toe.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
No, it was like a tap on the glass behind me.
Well, it was at the same time though, as I popped my toe.
Oh, okay.
As I bent my toe on my shoe and it popped.
Ew.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm tapping on the glass.
Amelia, we understand that you had a meeting with a woman named Evelina Marmon. We understand that she was one of the women that handed over her daughter to you. Could you give us the name of that little girl?
Was that Doris?
It was Doris. Did you hear Doris?
Yeah, it was a Doris in there.
What was your father's name? Got that same voice.
Can you tell us the number house you lived at?
Amelia, when you lived on Kensington Road, what was your house number? We already know the house number. We just want to confirm that it's you. We understand that you would use fake names when you would make the ads in the papers and when you would do the transactions for the children. Could you give us some of those names, please? Thought I heard Harding.
Why did you do it, Amelia?
There have been other people that have accused you of being Jack the Ripper. Is this something that's true?
Did you know Jack the Ripper? Yeah, in London. Look, it's flashing. Amelia, we heard your name on the spirit box a while ago. Actually, are you still here with us? Can you confirm your last name to us?
I swear I heard Dear Smith. Another name. I think I heard something similar to another alias she used.
Can you tell us the road name we're on?
I heard that.
Whoa.
That gave me the chills.
Oh, it's Kensington Reading.
Yeah. It was like Kensington. Is there anything that you want to put on the record about the events that occurred?
You want to say goodbye?
Do you want to say goodbye? I'll walk you home.
Goodbye.
That's it. Alright, Amelia. I'm walking you home now. If you want, this is the last time to try to communicate with us. All you need to do is speak into this mic and this device that I'm holding in my hand right now. If there's anything that you want the world to know about the events that occurred, please let me know now. It's a little bit noisy out here, so I'm going to need you to speak directly into the mic. The mic is right here, where I'm pointing. Alright, Amelia. This is your stop. It was great talking to you. We really hope to come back soon and talk to you again. If there's anything else you would like to say, please let me know now. Bye-bye, Amelia.
This concludes our investigation of Amelia Dyer. Do you think she could have been connected to the Jack the Ripper murders? Let us know in the comments below.
Our weekly shoutout goes to American Phantom Hunters. Be sure to check them out. You can find their channel in the description below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. That's all for now. See you next time on
I Want to Believe You.